know that was scary for her, because nobody was listening to her, about how they were handling her, the fact that she didn't even want them to touch her. And that was very, very scary. But that situation is in the past. And that her body can feel really relaxed now and very, very safe. No one's going to touch her body in an aggressive way anymore. That's better. Better, Lucy. Keep it going. All the way down. Oh, good. Keep reaching for the ground. It's there. It's 100. I think they're both great. I'm just really proud of all the changes that they're making.
Oh.
And what's neat is that they're making changes quickly, but the thing that's neat about it is you've acted on it.
You know what's been really great is the cats, Dylan and Turbo, are much more, when they want something, when they want our attention, they tell us.
Yeah.
And it's really great, and then we know that this is, they've been much more assertive in terms of what they want.
Great. Great. No, you're doing great. Everybody's doing great. Animals communicate non-verbally, obviously. I mean, they have their barks and they have their meows. I learned that from an animal who was attacking people. And every time he was with the woman, if he wasn't muzzled, he would attack. And so I asked the dog, because they were adopting a baby and they were afraid that he might go after the baby. And I asked the dog, why are you attacking? And he said, nothing. So I couldn't help the woman. So I went back to her and I said, you know, I don't understand what's going on. And we began to talk about her social life. And they didn't socialize much, but I asked her why she didn't. She said because she wasn't comfortable out there with people. And so I asked her, well, how uncomfortable do you get out there? And she said, well, I feel like I'm going to be hurt. I could possibly be attacked. This woman, her innermost fear was being attacked by people. And what was her dog doing? Her dog was simply responding to her fear and pushing the people away from her so that she wouldn't be attacked, because that was the enemy. And then what I'd like you to do is imagine that you have two doors at the top of your head, and you allow the doors to gently open. And sitting above your head is the most wondrous white light from the highest spiritual plane. And you allow this light to gently enter your body. Allow yourself to get quiet with Jessie. It doesn't matter where she is in the room. It has such a great sense of strength and how wonderful it feels to be connected.
He was worried about his mom.
He was worried about his horse mother. He said that she was either very tired or she was older. Something was wrong because when he came out, she hardly did anything. He's just always been a very independent baby. There was no connection. So you're the first people like he's had a family with. That's why he looks to Gene as his mom, and he looks to you as his dad, and he needs some kind of structure, and that's what you're giving him. He's still intact?
He's intact.
He wants to know if he's going to be God's gift to women.
If he keeps biting me, he's not going to be.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the first thing he said to me. Because he keeps saying, I've got really good bloodlines, and I'm handsome, and I like teasing the girls, and it's just fun. And he said when you walk him, his tail is up, and he's looking at everybody. And he's a real schmooze with the women. He's like, you're the bad guy as far as that goes, and the women are like, he'll do anything for them. So he likes bugging you. So I asked him about his feet. That feels better. That one knee is the only thing that's keeping him. Things that you want to ask him since you've had him, because you've only had him for a short time, or things you want to
Yeah, does he understand that he is going to become a gelding if he keeps like playing around too much?
I don't think that's really crossed his mind, because whether or not you keep him intact or not is not going to be a very big issue to him.
It will be when you lose him.
Well, but I mean, it's just his personality is always going to be the same. I mean, yes, you'll take that edge off hormonally, but I would rather have you do that with him and keep asking him to have manners and be gentle and be soft, and have the girls have him be that way.
You got that right, horse.
Really an incredible connection. Never imagined when I got him at 4.5 weeks old that we would become as deeply connected as we did. I truly felt he was my son, that he was of me, and that he chose me. And that when he fell ill with kidney disease, that he allowed me to get used to it over the periods of a couple of months that I had to really work hard at keeping him going and keeping him healthy. And of course, you're not used to it when he leaves, but he knew when he was going. We used to swing on the swing together, and the day before he died, he kissed me a lot, and I knew he was saying goodbye, but I didn't want to accept it. But I knew he knew, and I remember on the way to the doctor's office, the morning he died, the afternoon he died, he stared me in the eyes, and I knew he was saying goodbye. As much as my mind didn't want to accept it, part of me knew he was. He knew. But I work real hard at feeling his spirit here because I want him with me. And I feel he's inside of me and he's making me a stronger, better person. And boy, I think I'm a much more special person because of having him in my life, because he loved me so much and I loved him so incredibly deeply that I value myself more, I appreciate myself more because of him. And the depth and breadth of our love was so complete and so equal. I know he loved me as much as I loved him, and that was an incredible amount. And I greatly miss him. Would you stop hogging the camera? That's got to be Spunky Spirit in this cat.
This is Classical KKGO FM 105.1, 13 and Series 6 o'clock. Highs will be in the low 80s. On Friday, even warmer. Currently 68 degrees downtown Los Angeles, dipping into the 40s tonight.
The man had taken his dog and he threw it against the block wall. And I laid the dog that was injured in my station wagon. And I came back and I opened the closet. And it was a little man. This was his father. And he was beating up his father to try to get the father to sign a quitclaim to his house. Well, I was upset for 3 days.
Everybody needs love, and if you don't have parents who are loving you and you have an animal there, then either you will bond with that animal and it'll become absolutely sacred and necessary for you, or what they find, I mean this is just from studies, what they find is if parents are beating their children, the only way the children can get out of this state of complete despair and feeling victimized themselves is by reenacting the horror on something else, and usually if there's an animal in the home, it can often be the animal. In order to thrive, you need to have a strong sense of love. When you're a child, you need to have your needs met. If your needs aren't met, you can't really go on to the next stage. There's always this like hole inside you. So then I think that you can't really love another person and bond with other people. have a boyfriend who's kind and wonderful and good to me. I have a dog that I love. I have friends. I have a business I love. I'm in graduate school, and yet I still feel pain a lot every day. I feel pain in one way because I don't feel like I have a family. I mean, I feel like my parents have, I don't talk to them. So it's like the people that I love, where I came from, I've been abandoned, I've been rejected. And for me, as much as I try, it's really difficult for me to get beyond that. Because I feel like it feels like there's a black hole inside me.
Goody. This is the book. It's very well done, isn't it? See, this is Satan backwards. So there are a lot of homeless youngsters. You know, you go into Hollywood, you see these kids who turn to prostitution and selling drugs just to exist because they can't live at home for some reason or another. Now, see, this type of thing that I'm showing you is your typical junior high or high school. You can see these are children. And when you consider these children are taking someone's pet and torturing it. More anger, more frustration, a lack of money. All of this adds to it. A lot of people know this and they're getting out of here. I'd like to take all the dogs with me and all the horses and a few cats. I'm allergic to cats, but they should be saved too.
She's happy?
She's a happy dog.
Mm-hmm. Come back. I'll go. Come here. Come here. Sit down. Come here. You stay here. After I finish healing, the energy work when I finish, then I have to wash my hands. So, you good girl, beautiful?
Oh, right on the head. Thanks very much.
Well, that's the end of your career.
Hardly. Not as long as she hits me in the head. Come on, dogs.
How are these two getting along? Okay.
They love each other.
Really? Oh, that's good.
They met on the street. Turned into a fabulous love affair.
Really? Ah. Okay, I'll come by that way maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Give me a shot when I'm headed back home.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I have to make it quick. There's some strange character down that way.
Okay.
There are a lot of strange characters in the park today. Take care. I'm not talking about you three.
Down. 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 Stay. Stay. Hey, down. Down.
Sit.
Down. Stay. Stay.
Daddy.
Stay.
Stay. Stay.
Stay. Stay. Hey. Hey. Down.
Down.
Sit. 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 Good girl. Stay.
Sit. Sit. Wait, sit.
Oh. Down. 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 Stay. Stay.
No, I keep it with my hand. I keep it with my hand.
Stay.
I'm gonna try. Sit. 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 Sit up. Down.
When I was a kid, I used to go to the jungle and bring cats, baby cats, and always bringing the live animals,
So that's the most amazing part I find about Jasmine is the fact that her fur is so realistic. It feels so realistic. I thought, since I'm going to have Little Millie done, because Austin has just been unapproachable about anything. Even the new kitty is not doing it for him.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's so heartbroken over the one Little Millie. So I figure I'll have Big Millie just cremated, and so I can afford to have the little one done for him.
Okay.
Tequila could potentially be 20 years old. So one thing that's really nice about small dogs is that they can really live forever, at least in the canine world. So sometimes I think to myself, wow, she could be 20. That means that I'm going to be 45 or something like that. Or, yeah, it's 45. It's going to be like a long relationship. And essentially she's going to be like my baby since I don't have any children. So obviously I'm not going to solve the world's problems by adopting a child, but I think that today in this world it's almost egocentric to have your own children. I mean, at this point, it doesn't make sense.
I think she's dissatisfied with the size of that toy. She has very big requirements, but she has this collection of toys that she likes to dominate, and it could be, frustration about being a little dog and having to be bossed around by big people all the time, or perhaps it is sexual where she actually is deriving some kind of physical pleasure. I haven't quite figured that out. I think that that's her own private thing, and I'm not going to get too involved in trying to figure out why she does it. But at the same time, perhaps I allow her. That sounds really bad. it happens, it keeps her busy, and it seems to make her happy. I mean, usually she has a big smile on her face after she mounts her animals. So, you know, it's part of her life, but I'm not sure whether it's purely sexual or just it's all about domination. Who knows, maybe sex and domination are really tied together. I'm not a good mother. I'm a bad mother.
There was a dog that came up from the beach, and I was playing with it, and I kissed it. And he told me that if I ever kissed another dog, that he couldn't be with me. It was absolutely, unbelievably controlling and horrifying. And that's when I decided to leave him. You know, I knew that if he, how could any human being say to somebody, if you kiss a dog, I won't be with you. I can't be with you. It's disgusting. It's crazy. There's circumstances, it makes more sense in the whole context. He was paralyzed. My ex-fiance was in a wheelchair, so he never came over to my house for the first 3 months of our relationship, so I never had a chance to see him with the dog, and by that time I had, sort of kind of fallen in love with him. And then I introduced him to my dog, and I didn't know he didn't like them. I just thought he was uncomfortable because he was in a wheelchair and it was a big dog and he was jumping on him. And so I ended up, but it was a dog that I had found. I would never give away the dog I have now. But I ended up giving him away, and it was really horrible. In some ways I still feel guilty that I would choose to give away my dog for a man. But I did.
Well, see, over here, I have another place where I go sleep, right? I was sleeping to about 2 o'clock in the morning. And this girl came. She just called the dog, right? So I wake up, I said, what's going on? So then the girl leaves. She leaves. About 15 minutes later, she come back. She tell me she got a gun. She said, give me the dog or I shoot you. I swear to God. She said, I get home for the dog. I get a house. And I said, look, girl, you better get to shooting. I got shot. Not bad, man. They blew the place up, the barracks. But, about 20 people died, 30, maybe 40. But then they sent me back to the hospital in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, but I'm young, I'm 19 and a half. Went to San Francisco, started messing with drugs. Then I got a little crazy, and then I moved, I go to the jail. Right? And I stay in the jail 3 years, right? And then I get a lot of stress, right? Then I come out, I go to my where I born in Long Beach, have a good time, have a little problem, go back to the jail. Drugs. See, because I get see, this is why I don't like to talk about Vietnam this year. It's a lot of stress. I went jail in Vietnam in the stress. And when I get stressed, I either drink or I take drugs. Simple.
Fabricant speaking. Hello? I can hardly hear you. Can you speak up, please? Yes, it is Humane Task Force. Uh-huh. You saw someone have sex with an animal? Okay, do you know the person? Can you give me their name and address? Okay, hold on till I get something to write on. When did this happen? Last night? Okay. What kind of an animal? A dog? Okay. First of all, let me have your name, hon. Jim. Spell it for me, dear. So, capital S, capital, okay. Okay, what's your phone number, Jim? I'm sorry? You know, I'm not hearing you good, Jim. Oh, 874, yeah. 0987. Okay, now, you actually witnessed this, huh? What kind of a dog is it? Male German Shepherd? Okay. Now, do you think that he's done this before? Did the dog seem to be trying to fight him? So the dog wasn't fighting him. Okay, is this a young German Shepherd? 3 years old? Okay. He was sodomizing the German Shepherd. Oh, wait a minute. the German Shepherd was sodomizing the guy. The guy wasn't sodomizing the German Shepherd. No. Okay. That's a switch. Absolutely, hon. It's definitely against the law. Now, would you be willing to be a witness in court? Okay, good. Because that's half of our hurdle, Jim. Well, that's a felony. Okay, and see, what we have to do is send an officer over there, and we have to have the man examined for semen. You see what I'm saying? And we also have to, we probably confiscate the animal, and then go from there. Is this man gay? Is he married? He's not married. He lives alone with the dog. Okay. Jim, let me, are you going to be home most of the day? What is your address, honey? You must live on the same street, huh? What's the number of your house? Wait a minute. You're the person who sodomized the dog? Or was sodomized by the dog? You're the person who was sodomized by the dog? In other words, it wasn't your neighbor. Then who is this Jim Soso? You made it up. Okay, now, Michael, are you calling me for help? Is that what you're calling me for? Because you know that what you did is wrong. Okay. Okay, what would you like for me to do? I don't think so. Not if you're admitting it and you're saying I need help. I don't see where you. I think you need probably some psychological help more than anything else. Am I right? Am I right? You've done it before? How many times? 50 or more times with the same dog? 3 dogs? Okay, so you're actually Michael then, huh? All right, you do need help, Michael, yeah. Yeah, and then this is your, now this 343 is, 345 is your address. So that's 343 is a bogus, huh? Okay. Okay, but the phone, I'm sorry, hon? You swallowed it? Okay. Let me send a police officer. Do you want me to send a police officer out there? Okay, Michael. How did you get my number? I beg your pardon? Huh? You saw me on a television show. Okay. Okay, Michael, thank you for calling. And yes, you do need help. And we'll see that, something is done.
June, be careful, it's a mean little cat.
Sorry. Chomping it down. I was sitting after I'd finished that last painting, the pink painting, and I had finished it a couple weeks before. It was already hanging on the wall. And people always come in and ask me, you know, what do I think of a painting and what does it mean, so that they can kind of get their own ideas as to what I was thinking. And because I don't think about them when I'm painting them, I have to think about them afterward, you know, try and figure out what it is that I get out of the painting. And I had heard, well, I heard subsequent to finishing the painting that a friend of mine had hanged himself. And I was sitting looking at it and, you know, writing some stuff about the week that I finished this painting, and I hadn't known my friend had hanged himself that week. And I realized the subject matter of the painting all totally related to my friend hanging himself. In the middle of the painting is a tree that actually even looks like the tree that he hanged himself from, which is an oak tree that was off of his balcony. And so I have this tree in the middle of the painting. I have a head suspended without a body that looks exactly like my friend. Anyway, amazing stuff. And the other footnote to that, of course, was the horrible fact that he hanged himself with his favorite dog's leash, which kind of horrified us all. It was a strange way to go, if somewhat profound.
Some people do strange things with animals, but I would never, I'm blushing to even to say that, but I would, do you know what I'm saying? But I would never think of doing that with my animals, because I would think that that's like incest, because they're my kids, you know. But I feel safe and open and intimate, meaning on a real exchange and a connection in a way that I've never felt with a man. And I just feel pure love. But I don't think that the dogs have simple minds. I think dogs love simply. I think their love is simple. I think men screw love up. Thank God I didn't have any kids. That's one thing I don't regret.
You had a moose l'Amour?
I did have a moose l'Amour. They're little primates on Madagascar. You gonna come over?
What? No.
Well, I just asked. Watch it. I have looked for men to dominate me because I am so strong, you know. I've looked for that in combination with growing up and seeing my father treat my mother in a certain way. They are divorced now, but he was physically abusive with her, so somewhere that got locked away, and I thought that that was permissible, and maybe that physical violence meant the same as passion, or, you know, so Richard and I were involved in that kind of abuse, which thank God I didn't get killed.
And Spunky will be at peace now. He's okay.
Tell him I love him and it's okay.
Whatever you want to say, he's here now, so explain whatever you want to say to him. You can say whatever, because he's here listening. He knows very much that you love him. He knows, you know, it was really hard for him to leave or to accept what happened to him, because he very strongly wanted to be with you. But he'll be at peace now.
Maybe maybe that's why I felt confused about where he is because he isn't up where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he has not been. He has been confused, and he's been kind of lonely and a little sad because he didn't understand what was happening. I see that kind of drew. He couldn't understand why you weren't, responding to him. He was there and you weren't responding, but he understands now. There's two conversations going on at once right here. My spirit guide is explaining to him why you couldn't see him, why you couldn't respond to him. So the dog understands. And he's at peace now. There's no problem. My spirit guide's going to lead him right out into the light. And where he will be a very happy place with other animals. When you get there, your birds will be flying around trees, and they will freely come to you, and you will remember them, and they will remember you, because there's a universal consciousness there. Everybody knows everybody. So he's not alone.
Will he still be able to connect with me?
Yes.
Is there any way to know if he will come back in another form?
As far as reincarnation, I don't feel, at this point, I don't see him coming back. He needs to go where he has to go for a while. Very rarely does an animal choose to come back. Animals are unlike people. People have to come back to evolve to a higher spiritual plane. Animals are already there. They've learned the lesson of love that we, as humans, have not.
I love you, and I want you to be happy wherever you are and whatever you're supposed to be doing. I didn't feel like I was in the middle of a seance, but I was thrown for a loop with the concept that Spunky's not up where he should be, is doggy heaven or whatever it is. And I've so much been asking him, where exactly are you? I can't feel where he is. I can't feel him nearby, and I can't feel the sense of where dogs go. So that kind of explains it, that he's been in limbo. And I feel kind of sad that maybe I'm responsible because I've been holding on to him and not wanting to accept that he's gone and not understanding really where they go. And so he's in the same kind of feeling, and maybe he's just been lost in between this life and the next. To your show.
They go to the veterinarians behind my back and they say, I don't know what they say, but they say something like, oh, we just want to pray over the cat, and then they do something like put a mortal wound into the cat, for all I know. I don't know what they do.
Where you heard about that?
Well, my cat and me get injected with urine and acid, I think. And what happens is, with the cats, they start throwing up and they get bloated.
Really?
There's this, like, devil cult or something. I think it's government people, mental health people. I had a scuffle with my landlord, and the police picked me up and took me in, and because I wouldn't show them my driver's license, and then they started injecting me. And then they started injecting stuff into my head.
Into your head?
And I was asleep when that was going on. How is my fur coming? Is it almost dry?
No, it's still there now. In a drying rack. You know, I should by Monday I should start to go step number 3.
Which is what?
Well, which is putting chemicals and going through the process of thinning. See, in this refrigerator here, I have 2 dogs, Chihuahua, that I'll be working on it next week. This is another dog. This is a beautiful cat. I'm looking forward to mount it. It has a nice shape, and one blue eye and one brown eye. One day I came to town in my boat, and Mark had a heart attack and passed away. So there I go, Debbie and I go to the morgue, and when they opened the coffin, there was Mark, embalmed, and Debbie jumped. She goes, "Oh, that's not my Mark. He doesn't look like Mark." And the guy said, "I did my best." And she recuperated from the emotional, and then she goes, "Sergio, you are a taxidermist. You can do a better job than that." I was embarrassed. "Debbie, easy." She goes, No, you can fix my Mark." I looked at the guy and he goes, so then we go in the back. I says, "Debbie, you go home now." So I go there in the back, and they open the cranium part in the back. So I go there and fix him up, and then I do all the makeup. Fix it. Yeah. I think it's all right. The guy said, "Okay, thank you." So I kick in, "Is your phone?" "Yeah." So I call Debbie. Debbie comes back. And then she goes there. "Oh, that's my Mark." And now looks at my, "Thank you, Sergio." I says, "I don't believe, but I guess she trusts my judgment, and he was too full, and I knew these expressions, the wrinkles, so I kind of took out some of the cotton and stuff inside and give a little more anatomy, His dad, what are you gonna do? Hold this baby here while I... Ooh. You see how the eyes change the whole scene? I mean, just for now. I think I like what I see.
So, this weekend Juno's the daughter of Huck, which is the bigger dog, and I gave Juno to a friend of mine. I went to meet him down by the beach, and I left Huck at my parents' house. And Juno, I brought her to my father's house, had them separated. The father, she's in heat. She's been in heat for like a week now. And in the middle of the night, Huck, father, pulled himself through the garage door, broke through it, and raped her. Then he got stuck to her. And so I woke up because I heard this screeching like 3:30 in the morning. I was trying to, I come downstairs and I see Huck looking up at me kind of fiendishly, and he's locked to his dog. So anyways, I know she's pregnant by his father. I'm just wondering if they're going to be like mongoloid babies, or if I'm supposed to get it fixed. I'm thinking about just, get her an abortion. So I have to keep them separated even for right now, so he's not here, because all he does is try to screw her. So it is kind of, it's quiet here now.
I didn't sell it all. I did not sell it all. I don't need money. I would never sell a dog. The dog is better off in a house where he can live and eat. The streets is no place for a dog. Especially, he's a good dog and very intelligent dog. And I did not sell him. And now I wish you start asking me that, because you hurt my feelings. I didn't sell it. The guy that actually owned the dog asked me could he take the dog to the park. And he never brought the dog back. And he sold the dog to this other guy. So the guy brought the dog back to me as a friend, a favor. He told me he paid $40 for the dog from another guy. So, in my good jest, I told him, I said, look, man, he told me he loved the dog and he's gonna treat the dog right. So he gave me $50 to keep the dog. I did not sell DJ.
That wind chime is from my friend's yard. A friend who hanged himself. I lay down over there in the other yard and he comes and lays with me.
Did Spunky send you? Did Spunky send you to help me?
You know, you get okay with it for a while and you get busy. And, but it takes a long time. I don't think anybody should expect to be okay in a little while. And anybody that tells you differently is crazy. It comes and it goes, and the anniversaries will be hard, and the places you went together, you might have walked together, hiked together. But the biggest thing is not to forget, not to lose that connection, that love. So it's so precious. There, to know there'll be other loves in our life, but I mean, for me, God, I got Spunky when I was 22 years old. He was with me my entire adult life. That's all the important years of my life. He's the dog I always wanted as a child and never was allowed to have. He traveled with me on the road. I was singing and traveling in clubs all over the country, and he lived in hotels with me. I don't think there's anyone in the country that traveled as much as this little doggy. The maids would fall in love with him and sneak food to him, and the clerks would lie that I had a dog if it was a place that didn't allow it, and everybody fell in love with him. He was just so incredibly lovable. When he was sick, I would carry him around the yard and sing songs. I would make up words to famous songs that fit into Spunky, and just hold him in my arms and walk around the yard and sing them, and he just melted like a baby. He enjoyed my voice, even though it's years later and my voice isn't in shape. I don't do that anymore, but Spunky loved my voice. I slept with him the night before we buried him. He died in the afternoon, and I wasn't ready to say goodbye, and just kept him on blue ice, and he stayed well, and I wanted one more night sleeping next to him. And some people feel that's good also because supposedly the spirit doesn't leave right away, and you should sit with the spirit. And I just needed time with him before I could let go of that little body. And 13 of my friends came, and we had this incredible ceremony for him. I don't think any person's ever had this nice a ceremony.
Imagine a flow of information going through a computer and being downloaded. What occurs with the vocal cords and the speech pattern is that there is a vibrational frequency that changes, and therefore my voice sometimes will take on either an accent or sort of a different type of sound.
Maybe a barking sound in this case.
I've been known to have that happen. But when a person hasn't had a session with me, I just like to kind of prepare you for that. We do see, though, it appears to be a new animal around you. Have you just recently gotten a new pet?
Yes, actually, he found me.
Wonderful, it's wonderful. Well, the concept of reincarnation, what does that mean? You see, an animal never leaves you. They create a holographic image by which the energetic pattern is always there for you, and that is why many people will say, my animal is passed on, and yet I still hear, see, and feel. I get the bark, I get this, that, and the other thing. You see, animals, the angels are embodied in them to teach man and woman compassion.
Am I correct in my feeling that this doggy that came to me, even though he was already alive when my last doggy, Spunky, passed on, that Spunky's energy could have gone into him?
Absolutely. It is sort of a particle of the soul that chose to be encased in that animal, just to remind you I'm still here, not to exchange one for the other. For animals don't want that. They don't want to think that, when you get a new one, well, it is replacing the other. They are, if you can imagine a great car with all parts of the car, the steering wheel, the engine, all of that, the soul particles of the soul encased in animals, they would send to you, say, a new engine. If the car that you had was not good, it would come in the form of an animal. So you are picking up the energy, but it is not the same animal. It is a reflection encoded within the cells of that energy.
That's Mar.
It was a year and a half before he died.
It's going too.
What's going on?
I love you. It's a lonely life here. So where's your little semi-veggie cat? Jenny, where's Jenny? Jenny, come on out.
He just spent a weekend in the hospital.
What happened to that desire to go? Any children? Any yet?
Mommy Spunk? Something spunky. Spunky in the car. Sitting in the front seat just like you do.
Go for a ride. This is where Spunky usually sits. Oh, he has to duck when cops go by. Makes it hard to drive. Just kiss him. The breeze in my hair. The best buddy.
You want to watch Mommy with Spunky in the car? Oh. Who's that? He was a kissaholic. Yeah, he really was.
My lips are gonna wear out. I have no skin left on the bottom of my face. Take a nap. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon.
Actually, no. I haven't had a recent loss, but I've had multiple losses. And I just, you know, am concerned with where they go and what kind of suffering is involved.
Well, the suffering is very different than the human suffering. You see, animals are very clearly the angels with birds. They don't leave. They are sort of submodalities or components. They always stay there. And you've already had some recognition of that, have you not?
Well, I have fallen in love with a pig over the last couple of years. And I wonder if you can tune in at all on what he thinks. He's quite a personality and one who's kind of hard to read at times. I wonder if you have any...
The reason why it's hard to read is because you're looking very much at a very strong sense of who you are through that. There's a great reflection going on. In terms of the intelligence and the IQ, it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And one would say that a pig does appear to have the highest level of intellect, or not consciousness per se. But the reason why he is hard to read at times is because he doesn't want you to always be able to be one up on him.
Right.
Had the ability by the power of grace that when people came into the animal's presence were transformed. You see, the greatest aspect of change within a person never happens by you wanting them to change. The presence of that animal created a shift in the consciousness of anyone that came in. In comparison with a person, this pig, which is indeed a grand master of sorts, would feel as comfortable dining in the afternoon with a nun as he would dining in the evening with a prostitute. Do you understand what we're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Completely non-judgmental. A great love affair. Indeed, you feel it in the heart, do you not?
Yeah.
You see, that animal has the ability to project the heart energy.
You recognize the men? Push the other. We just found this one. That's picked him up entering the building. But they have discovered 50 kilos of pure coke. Our friend claims he was there to rent an apartment. Even had a newspaper ad.
What's your name?
Peter Mandrake.
And what are you doing out here in the middle of nowhere?
I'm a cattle dealer.
Tonight we're going to say they walked to the park this morning. Okay? Simple sentence. They walked to the park this morning. Okay, Nikki, sound discuss.
We walked to the park this morning.
Very good. Very, very good. Riku, sound angry.
They walked to the park this morning.
Good. All right, Chris, sound happy.
Walk to
said morning.
Okay, good, Chris. That's good. That was different. That was something a little different. Yeah. Very good. Okay.
The modality and the you know the light, the love that we all move into, and anyway, it was fabulous. Well, this is the one that was talking about the astral sexual.
Well, I'd
She
like to
said
hear
you
about
would-
that.
Astral sexual, which I think is a fabulous term. I haven't heard the animal communicators using that one yet, so we'll have to wait and see if they come out on the astral sexual plane.
I think it's a farce.
I do too.
No, I can't say it's a farce because I've had experiences that when someone says to me it's coincidence, I think that they're full of it. I think that
But you're looking outside of yourself for answers, and all the answers lie inside yourself.
Well, right, but that's what any real mystic would tell you.
Not one single theory in the long run proved to be accurate or real.
Right. And to me, the whole exciting thing about these phenomena is that they're really not explainable in the terms that we understand. And I think that very unusual stuff goes on that can't be explained. It can't be explained by science, and it sure can't be explained by any of the psychics that I've ever talked to. You know, no one's ever been able to explain things, and to me, just to say it's coincidence doesn't explain it either.
Every second of your life, something can happen that seems very strange.
Well, I think most people who disbelieve
not
need
sure.
something solid. Something as solid as in that.
You know, the philosophy of health has changed so much. It changed from being, you know, Hippocrates' idea was that it was mind and body creating health, and that the human body naturally leaned toward health. And when Newton came along with these scientific ideas, yes, you just ate, he got the whole mind-body connection debunked and said it's all scientific stuff. It can all be, you know, worked out with medical compounds. And we've gone into this whole philosophy of sickness as opposed to the philosophy of health. So science came along, debunked all the kind of mystic aspects of staying healthy and
Well, it's
being
pretty
healthy.
clear that there's a happy medium between the two.
Well, but hey, you're saying it yourself. There's a happy medium.
For instance, the painting that I painted that has the tree.
So,
6 years ago, Chris was hit by a car while he was walking home from school.
Chris wrote a book about his dog before the accident.
Right, Chris? He's done from the very beginning. He never complains. And so we actually have a goal in about 3 years. We're going to climb Mount Whitney, which is the tallest mountain in California. And I think we're going to do it. What do you think, Chris?
yeah. Bird. Right.